Strong environments create good men. Weak environments create weak men. That's why there's no more good men. It's hard to find them because you washed them away. Chivalry is dead because you killed it. The modern feminism has not only broken the unique bond between man and woman, but actually created a toxic division and a loveless society. And it's all broken and we're all paying for it. In today's society, there is no incentive to be good. So why be a good person? And that's what's promoted for our society through that F-boy mentality and that whole mindset. Then what's the point of being good if everyone else is doing the opposite anyway? Because the society we live in today is a godly society. And a godly society is a society with no goodness. So it's rare to find good people in general, men and women alike. Especially now that promiscuous relationships are promoted. I mean, it diminishes relationships, whether you admit it or not, whether you believe in the sanctity of human connection. At the end of the day, you see the detrimental effects of casual hookups that it has in society, men and women alike, creating more psychopathic men and broken women. This is really what you get when you have lust over love, when you cater more towards the lustful desires than the loving aspects of relationships. And to be honest, the people that just want lust are not the good people, because there really isn't any virtue in lust. Except for impulsive desires and instant gratification. It really is just a drug. And in our society, love has just become another form of drug, and everyone is abusing it.
There's not a big pool of good men.
That's a lie.
That's not a lie.
That is a lie.
That's not a lie. Tell me.
Listen.
What?
There's not a lot of good men who want y'all. I'm clapping for myself. Where the good man at? Like they hiding under a rock or in a cave. They everywhere. They at the gas station. They at Costco. They at Equinox. They at the bank. They walking right past you and you don't show up on their radar because of the way you are. They're going to walk right by you. Your pretty face ain't going to go too far because everybody's pretty. That's a prerequisite. So if that's all you got to offer, we're not looking at you. There's plenty of good men. They just don't want your... I ain't never heard no woman say, I know I ain't. When have you ever heard a woman admit to not being... She'll say,
Never.
This man ain't... He ain't... He was bad. He was bad. He was bad. He was bad. But for the most part, every woman think they're a good woman. What makes you a good woman? Who's auditing that you're a good woman? You are auditing yourself. Why don't you ask your exes what they think? Because all your relationships diminished and ended in turmoil.
Turmoil. Hey, this man chose violence today. But look, man, ultimately you play the game of the team you're on. Look, if you want to play basketball, you go to a court. If you want to play football, you go to the pitch. If you want to fight, you go to the ring. You ain't going to see a boxing fight in a football pitch. That's just the nature of life. You get where you go. And there ain't a lot of good men in the pool that you enter because chances are you're in the wrong pool too. And you got to be honest with yourself. You can lie to others. That makes you smart. But if you lie to yourself, it makes you miserable. So you have to be honest with yourself and honestly think and say to yourself, like, am I really a good person? Because if I am such a good person that I say I am, then how comes I ain't getting good things? There's a lot of things you can get away with in life, but being a good person is such a high standard that most of us think we are, but in reality we don't. It's a lot of effort to be a good person. It's a ton of work. So chances are most of us aren't even that good anyway. We think we're nice, but really when we're faced with the obstacles and the challenges, we falter and we're like, oh, you know what? I may not be as good as I thought I was.
Me arriving at the princess treatment competition and all my opponents are men from this generation. POV, you love doing things for your man because he's a divine masculine and not a little b-boy.
So these two videos, they express the frustration that a lot of women have nowadays with the type of men that are populating the dating pool. Now we are able to talk about the problems with the men that we are dating.
Hey, women don't know what they want. If you don't believe me, try asking your girl what she wants to eat next time. Then you'll see. All jokes aside, women honestly don't know what they want in a man or what they're looking for. Because in reality, imagine if you had a genie that you just say, hey, what's the perfect man that you want? Okay, a woman will say, I want to, someone who's loving, someone who's caring, someone who listens, someone who is affectionate, and someone that shows their emotions. That's what they think they want, right? But in reality, when the genie grants that and they get what they want, they're like, ugh, I don't actually want this. It's just a girlfriend. It's just another girlfriend. Because think about it. All you want is a man that is feminine. Everything you have mentioned are feminine qualities. So you just really want to feminize that man. You don't really want a boyfriend. You want a girlfriend. There ain't nothing wrong with that. But if you want a man, That's a different type of breed. You have to understand the differences between a man and a woman. It's just like this. If you want to solve a math equation, you're going to ask a mathematician. If you have a toothache, you're going to go to the dentist. If your eyes get blurry, you're going to go to an ophthalmologist. If you're a woman looking for a man, you can't tell a man what he has to be, because if you tell him, chances are you're just going to make them into a woman. You know what you want from your perspective, which is a woman, but you don't know what a man wants from his perspective, which is a man. It's just like a writer trying to tell a painter how to paint. It's not going to end up well. It's just going to be a whole lot of mess.
This is the thing I hear from all women nowadays. We're all the masculine men.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, the second you meet them, you run and hide.
Because they don't want to sacrifice a part within themselves, so that would require them to show up.
Men are not willing to give up their commitment for somebody that is still committed to other things. And women need to really understand that it's not easy to be with a real man. Most women say they want a high-value alpha male. They don't. They've been trained to want men that lie to their face. And that needs to be challenged.
The reason why good men are giving up on relationships is because women are teaching other women how men should think and feel. So when a man turns around and actually says what he thinks and feels, he's told he's wrong. But a man better not ever do this to a woman, because if he did, at the very least, she would be offended, and at the worst, he would be labeled a narcissist. If women actually listened to men, good men wouldn't be hard to find.
Men aren't good friends to each other, because they mostly talk and comment, but they don't prod and poke. And
my husband will be like, "Oh, they're moving to New Mexico." I'm like, "Why are they moving?" I don't know. I'm like,
I didn't like
a huge life change. Like, did you ask any follow up?
Pisses me off. Like, literally, I was talking to somebody who was talking about like his friend's marriage just fell apart, and I was like, "Oh man, why was it like was it another woman? Was it?" He was like, "Oh, I didn't ask all that," but he's like, he was really sad, and I'm like, "What the fuck? You didn't ask anything. His marriage fell apart and you didn't ask any questions. That's crazy."
Women's problems is that you keep on listening to your girls and what you want in a man. If you want a happy relationship, if you just want a happy life in general, don't let your girlfriends dictate the outcome of your relationships with your man. Because chances are, a lot of these people, a lot of your girlfriends, they're just jealous of you too. And the nature of women being hypergamous is that, yes, your friends want the best for you, but your friends are not going to know what the best one for you is, because they're not you. So only you know what the best one for you is. So don't let your friends sway you, because when you make the wrong choice and you become miserable in life, that misery is just going to be your own. It ain't going to be theirs. So think carefully.
During the fight, he almost gets knocked out. As this guy is mauling him, he goes like this. What do you think I was thinking?
Not good thoughts.
The boyfriend. My boyfriend. Like this.
This is an MMA fight.
You didn't like it?
Fuck no.
Did it turn you off?
Oh my God, so much.
Whoa.
I was like, dude, you're getting fucked up. As you're falling to the canvas, you still need to go fuck you.
Wow.
You're like, fuck you.
This would be crazy.
Like that.
So the way he was getting beaten was fucking with you.
Yeah.
It wasn't just that he was getting beaten.
Like, you gotta fucking, like, take that shit.
Take it.
Yeah. You know, like a champ or like a fighter.
Right.
Yeah, you can't be like.
Wow.
He was a fighter. Man, that's crazy. You know how tough it is to get in the ring or octagon or whatever it may be just to fight another person? Man or woman, it's like, yo, that requires a lot of courage. You're mocking a person because he couldn't fight the way you wanted him to fight or as masculine as you wanted him to fight. Yes, we do get to see cowards these days, but the way you fight has nothing to do with the person that you are. I mean, if you judge the world like that, MLK ain't a good person because he wasn't a good fighter. There's more to being a man than just knowing how to fight. And I'm a fighter myself, so I know, and I've been in the game for a very long time. So I know that fighting has nothing to do with the goodness of your heart, because there's a ton of terrible people that knows how to fight but don't know what to fight for. And that man dodged a bullet. If you're going to judge a person by the way they lose and you're going to ridicule them and it's kind of like be an ick for you, hey man, you probably don't deserve that man anyway. That person probably deserves someone better. And you're judging a relationship based off of a fight? I mean, what in the name of domestic violence is going on in here? Madam, you don't need a boyfriend. You need a sparring partner.
That's how you ruin good men. If you are a woman who is not healed through their trauma, say you were in a past relationship with a man who was extremely abusive to you, and in your survival mode, you would match his level of intensity, so you would start yelling, screaming, calling names, throwing things in his face because he was doing it to you, and now you're in a new relationship, and you're with a man who doesn't do anything like that. He's a super sweet dude. He has his flaws. He frustrates you and gets under your skin a little bit. But once you enter fight or flight and you're triggered and you're living that scenario that you had with your ex, knowing that that is not your current partner, and you start throwing things in his face and calling him names and yelling at him and berating him because you can't control your emotions or resolve the trauma and the damage from somebody else, you are ruining that good man. And you're going to take a little bit of a piece of him every single time that happens.
Yep. Yes, ma'am. Look, hurt people. And this is why your past matters. As much as we try not to be responsible for our history, hold no accountability for it, at the end of the day, people are shaped by their experiences, whether good or bad. So the past matters. That's with anything in life. It's not just the people that you sleep with or get in a relationship with. It's everything in life. Bad boss, good friends, bad friends. They shape us one way or another and mold our perspective and how we interact with the world. If you've had like traumatic experiences in the past, I mean, you're bound to repeat that with the person that you're with because you don't have any other mold to compare anything by. That's why having good relationships and most importantly having a good family that isn't broken, coming from good roots means a ton because it will shape how they will react with the world because the family, the home is the first interaction they get with the world. And how they see the world comes directly from their family and how their family is. So if they come from good family, chances are they're going to be good people. Whereas if all they had is bad traumas and all these type of experiences, and then that's all they'll be. Now they can get out of it, but it takes a lot of internal work and self-development, which most people are just simply not willing to do. Because it's easier to just be an arsehole than to use your head. You gotta be careful with your encounters with people because no matter how good you are to begin with or how good you think you are, eventually if you have enough bad experiences, it's just human nature to lean towards that way as well. Or if not, you become bitter. If you don't become bad, you could become bitter if you have traumatic experiences. So protect yourself from those type of people and experiences. And at the end of the day, every person is an experience, whether good or bad. Make sure that you have the good experiences in people so they can create the good person within you too. Now let's listen to this woman who goes on a long rant on what women have done to the good men in the world.
This video is going to be about where have all the good men gone. This is a topic I talk about quite a bit. Yesterday I did my men going their own way video. Well, this one's going to be about where have all the good men gone. I hear this all the time. I saw articles about it. It's all over TV. It's a common saying amongst women, Western women today. I gotta keep saying Western women. There's too many women that keep bringing up women from other countries. When I'm talking about women, y'all, I'm talking about Western women. I am a Western woman. I'm talking about other Western women here in the States. So, this is a common saying amongst women in the West. And a lot of women, you know, just about almost all the females that I know and acquaintances that I've had, one thing I've heard them say at some point is, I can't find a good man. There's no more good men. Where have they gone? You know, what happened to them? Men are pigs, they're dogs, they cheat. You know, you can't trust them.
All sorts of animals.
Very, very common. Well, I just want to try to get y'all to see this from a different angle here, and maybe, you know, it'll wake some of y'all ladies up out there. So, ladies, when you're dating a man or you're seeing a man or whatever you want to call it, and he cheats on you, and you're pissed off at him, you know, you want to write off all men, you don't want nothing to do with men anymore. I just want you to think about this. If other women were not so willing to open their legs to a stranger, or if other women were not whores, I'm just going to say it, this kind of stuff wouldn't happen that much. It's just women today are not ladylike whatsoever. Women today will meet a man and sleep with him the same day she met him. Women today want to be like men. They want to meet someone, impress them, sleep with them, and not experience any kind of consequences for it. And they still want to be looked at as a strong woman afterwards, which they won't. You know, if you're sleeping around, to me, you a whore. If you're sleeping with all these different men, and you know, by the time you my age, you done slept with 60, 70, 80, 100 men, you're a whore to me. And that's just my opinion. Ain't none of y'all gonna be able to change my mind on that. And again, if I'm speaking and offending you right now, you might as well hang it up right now.
She old
because
school,
I'm just
old
gonna
school.
keep on offending you in this video. Well, women today, like I said, they're not ladylike. They walk around, they want to dress skimpy, they want to put on enough makeup to where they start looking like a transsexual. They want to wear fake this, fake that, fake hair on their head, fake eyelashes, where they look like they dressed up for Halloween night. They getting surgery, they getting their lips blown up, they getting their butts done, their breasts done. Nothing's real anymore, and it's all done to impress not only men but other women. Women are in competition with each other, so it's not just, you know, they're not just getting like that to impress males. It's also to compete with other women so they can look better than them other women. Women are just extremely insecure and broken today. But trying to stay on topic here, if other women were not whores and willing to lay down and flirt with a married man or a man in a relationship, and you know, this kind of stuff wouldn't happen. Men wouldn't be able to do this kind of stuff. They wouldn't be able to cheat on you as often. They wouldn't be able to, you know, run off or sleep with a woman they just met if the woman wouldn't be willing to do it. So instead of running around blaming men, you know, men are only going along with what women have allowed.
Yes, ma'am. Which makes you think, who was feminism made for? And more importantly, who was it made by? If all the rewards are being reaped by mostly men, because it's just men that benefits from all this promiscuity, being able to sleep around with as many people as you can, who does it benefit? Men. So is it really improving the feminist movement? Because at the end of the day, we want the best for women. But is this really creating a society where it is safe for women and it empowers women? Is it really? Look around you. That's something you have to ask yourself. Don't judge, be a witness. Is it really helping empower women? Or is it just a ploy and another result? Because the pieces may be pink, but the game is still chess. And by the looks of it, it's benefiting men more than it is women. Because a man can have everything that he ever wanted before, where he would pay for a wedding, he would have to marry that person, he would have to give all his assets and even give his name to that woman. Now, all you gotta do is a swipe on Tinder or a few dollars in OF, and that's it. He gets everything that he wanted. By the looks of it, women have cheapened their value. Now, in relationships, it's common that people ask, what do you bring to the table? And women always say, I am the table. To which a lot of men are like, what? No, you gotta bring this, you gotta bring that. Like, that ain't fair. But that's the truth. Women simply are the table. It is men who seek the table. It is men who seek the woman. But the most important aspect is, what is that table? And it attracts what that table is. Is it messy? Is it clean? Is it full of used plates from other people that ate there before? Is it served with fresh food? Or is that table filled with cold meals? That's the type of things that you have to be thinking about. And that's the most important thing. You have to imagine dating like a woman is the table. Yes, she is, because she's that valuable. But you also have to be accountable and honest with yourself that the type of people that eats at the table is determined by how beautiful the table is and how neat, how clean it is. Think of it as a restaurant. If you go to a restaurant, are you going to eat at the table that hasn't been cleaned? Are you going to eat at the table that is clean and nicely presented? These are the type of things that you have to think about. Relationships is like a restaurant. And how do you get good men? If you clean that table and make it as neat and presentable as you possibly can. And remember, no one wants to eat at a dirty table. No one wants to eat where there's food all over the place and there's still plates from the other customers. Good men want to be served fresh food, not leftovers. So make sure your table serves a 5-star cuisine. And if you keep your table neat and beautiful, and if you don't pollute it, good men will come running at you. Good men and women are like butterflies. And you don't chase butterflies, you attract them. Because you can spend a whole day trying to chase butterflies and catch none. But if you just raise a garden full of flowers, you will catch a ton of butterflies every day of your life. So in short, for women, if you want to find good men, be a good woman. Vice versa for men also. And if your perspective of women is that all women are hoes, well, most chances are you're in the wrong place, my friend. And you got to start looking in better places. If you're a woman thinking that all men are cheaters, they're dogs, well, you got to get out of the zoo and find a better place. Because good men and women are out there. You just got to start looking in the right places. But most importantly, become a good person yourself. Because no matter how many good people there are out there, if you ain't good enough yourself, chances are you won't fit the bill for them. And they won't want you anyway. So this is another episode of The Third Eye. Hope this somewhat enlightens you and edifies you towards finding true love and a good relationship. Don't rush into a relationship just because you're lonely or you want to find someone. Like, don't fold under the pressure of society. Make sure you develop yourself rightfully and entirely. Finish your own product first before you sell it. Hope you like this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is 30 helping you see life in plain sight. See you in the next one. Peace.